Heavy shooting as gunmen attack Governor Adeleke's. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the news around the world. I am Ifeoluwa Olaoye. On the sign language corner is Korede Oluleye. The President Bola Tinubu-led administration has finally unveiled a breakdown of the 15.8 trillion naira in savings from fuel subsidy removal and gains of other reforms over the last 3 years. The Minister of Finance, Taiwo Oyedele, disclosed this at a press conference monitored by newsmen on Wednesday, giving a detailed breakdown of the administration's subsidy removal reforms. According to Oyedele, the reforms resulted in 15.8 trillion naira in savings that accrued to the Federation account. He noted that the savings from fuel subsidy removal were shared among the federal government, states, and local governments. According to him, the federal government received 5.43 trillion naira, while the states received 6.52 trillion naira, and local governments received 3.88 trillion naira from the fuel subsidy removal savings. Oyedele explained that the reforms also generated 3.12 trillion naira in other incremental revenues and 11.85 trillion naira in incremental borrowing. As a result, the federal government had approximately 20.4 trillion naira in incremental resources during the period under review. However, he noted that additional expenditures incurred by the government during the same period amounted to approximately 30.64 trillion naira. President Bola Tinubu has charged Nigerian universities to produce graduates equipped to become value creators, innovators, entrepreneurs, professionals, researchers, and responsible citizens. Tinubu said the rapid changes in the world of work require universities to adapt their curricula and strengthen their links with industry. The president spoke in Ilorin, Kwara State at the 37th Annual General Assembly of the Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities, themed Building Resilient Universities for Nigeria. Represented by the Minister of State for Education, Professor Shuaiba Ahmed, Tinubu said employers increasingly value problem-solving skills, communication, teamwork, digital competence, creativity, entrepreneurship, and adaptability alongside academic qualifications. President Tinubu said universities must prepare students for an increasingly technology-driven world shaped by artificial intelligence, digital learning platforms, virtual laboratories, automation, biotechnology, renewable energy, advanced manufacturing, and data science. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has announced the establishment of a 500 million naira endowment fund for victims of pre-election violence in the state. Adeleke announced on Wednesday while receiving a certificate of return from the Independent National Electoral Commission following his re-election. According to the governor's special assistant on digital media, Olaliko Badmu, the fund was established by the Osun State government in honor of victims of the violence recorded before the governorship election. Suspected thugs on Wednesday attacked the convoy of Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke shortly after his visit to the palace of the Ataoja of Osogbo, Obajimo Oyetunji. The incident triggered an exchange of gunfire lasting about 12 to 15 minutes with the governor's security personnel. Governor Adeleke had arrived at the Ataoja's palace at about 3:15 p.m. in a motorcade of about 20 vehicles after leaving the Osun State headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Osogbo, where he received his certificate of return following his re-election. An eyewitness who spoke with newsmen said Governor Adeleke had already left the hall through an exit reserved for the monarch and his wives when the shooting started. The incident caused panic in the area as traders and other residents reportedly fled their businesses and sought safety during the shooting. The resident electoral commissioner, Ondo State, Dr. Mutiu Agboke, has described the recently concluded Osun State governorship election as a model for the 2027 general elections. He stated this while addressing the Osun Gibao poll 2026 during an appearance on BCOS Television's Current Affairs Breakfast program, AM 120. Our reporter, Olamide Wolabi, who monitored the program, reports.
Dr. Mutiu Agboke, a former resident electoral commissioner in Oyo and Osun states, and the current resident electoral commissioner in Ondo State, said the Osun governorship election is a guide for 2027, stressing that votes must determine outcomes. He said INEC performed its duties effectively, especially in personnel deployment and timely opening of polling units with no misconduct recorded against officials.
There's still need for us to do more. That is not to say in all the polling units, all our staff were angels. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that in the aggregate, if you put it on a larger scale, we got a lot of things. A few of them, you still see them misbehaving here and there. They were able to contain their excesses. So I think by and large, we got a lot of things right in Osun.
On voter education, he said it is not INEC's sole responsibility, urging political parties to better educate their members on electoral processes and even party symbols. He also dismissed claims that INEC is not independent, describing them as unfounded, and noted that the commission operates within its mandate.
Let all of us go and study how to fact-check stories, how to fact-check videos and the various social media content. It is not everything that you see there. And let me sound this warning. In 2027, security agencies are out there looking out for those who are in the habit of spreading unfounded and false news.
On electoral digitalization, he said only voting remains likely manual and that full electronic voting would require legal and stakeholder support. On vote buying, he called for collective action to address it, noting that all parties bear some responsibility while highlighting existing security and interagency efforts.
INEC, we accredit observers. There are accredited observers. I don't talk about uninvited observers. Definitely. Those accredited ones, some of them will put up their report. And we are always together. Before you are accredited, it means there has been a synergy between you and the commission. I hope you get what I'm saying. So they are always in tandem with how INEC will do it, what you want them to do, and the rules of engagement. I mean rules of engagement by saying that when you are an observer, you have no business in interfering with the process.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You are just an observer, observe it, see one thing or the other, and you make your observation.
Okay.
And when you're observing, you write it, submit your report, INEC work through it.
Right.
So,
Dr. Agboke further disclosed that INEC has begun preparations for the 2027 elections and promised a level playing field, stressing that only voters' choices should determine results. He urged Nigerians to actively participate in the electoral process to strengthen future elections. Olamide Wolabi, BCOS News.
We shall now take a short commercial break. Please stay tuned.
If you feel the body, you go pray for me. I'm back at move our body dangerously. You didn't make my heart go. Body and soul. I still they go. I still they go.
Oh yeah. Make with us now. Yes, yeah.
Morning, everyone. Here's to a talk day. Here's to living the creamy and delicious life.
We go dance until the morning light. Everything is feeling right tonight. Baby.
Have a talk day with Talk Cafe.
I still
share separately your money points.
No. You say you save on money points?
Yes.
This Madam Money Points here, the array of Yadrea there is charges.
Separately your money points.
No. You say you save on money points?
Yes.
This Madam Money Points here, the array of Yadrea there is charges savings money points I used to have it. The rest of this my sub is this savings money points I used to do it. The salary of this my staff is save as you transact.
Jennifer, money point save as you transact. Money point fixed savings and money point target savings.
Why did I drop my door contribute to you right today? Come on, oh, you go give your money to Hadaku to save. You see money point accounts there. You don't go open a savings account. Now Hadaku you should. I beg everybody inside this my saloon. Oh, you bring out your phone and download the money point app now. Even you. What are you waiting for?
Download the Money Point banking app now. Start saving with the bank you can trust.
Money Point, made for your progress.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys.
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria. Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on. Malaria gone.
The home is under attack, but not for long, because Hypo is here. Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Dirty and stains no be do shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go hypo.
Germs always find a way back.
No greed. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo.
Every morning is a good time to show love in the way that matters. And showing love begins with breakfast, the first gift of the day to you and your loved ones. Not just any breakfast, but one made with pig milk because it contains vitamins, proteins, and calcium to keep you nourished and ready for the day. Breakfast is love. Show it every morning with the nourishing goodness of Peak evaporated milk.
Peak, reach for your peak.
Thank you for staying with us. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has declared Thursday, August 20, a work-free day in commemoration of Isheshe Day, a day dedicated by the state government to celebrating the rich cultural and traditional heritage of the Yoruba people. This was contained in a memo signed by the Secretary to the state government, Professor Musiba Babatunde. According to the memo, the governor extended his felicitations to adherents of African traditional religion across Oyo State, Nigeria, and beyond, wishing them a successful and spiritually enriching celebration. Governor Makinde reaffirmed his administration's commitment to fairness across all religions, expressing gratitude to traditional worshippers for their support of his government over the past 7 years. The memo noted that the work-free day will enable workers and residents to fully participate in the celebration of the state's cultural heritage and pray for the peace, unity, and stability of the state in particular and the country in general. Recall that Governor Makinde introduced the Isheshe Day celebration as part of his administration's visionary efforts to honor adherents of traditional religion and to harness cultural tourism as a driver of economic growth, emphasizing that cultural tourism remains one of Oyo State's greatest strengths. As concerns over food security continue to dominate national discourse, a professor of animal science, Soji Adejumo, has called for a major increase in domestic food production before emphasis is placed on agricultural value addition. He also wants government to provide stronger incentives to attract young Nigerians into farming. Our man, Adebayo Abdurofe, reports.
Professor Soji Adejumo believes Nigeria's agricultural transformation must begin with food sufficiency, while acknowledging the value of agribusiness and value addition. He says increasing domestic food production should remain the immediate priority. According to him, value-added agricultural production cannot be sustained if the country is unable to produce enough food for its own population. He therefore advocates a significant increase in domestic food production before moving further into large-scale processing and industrial value addition.
We have reached a level where ranching should be a first-line principle. And that ranching is not by forcing a state to create land for one full animal to bring cows to. No, it's for us, for those who want to go into cattle ranching, for government to be able to provide them access to the land, not encroaching on farmlands for crops. And there you'll be able to raise your stock, grow them, sell them, not drive them all over the place.
The professor of animal physiology also identified the high cost and risk associated with farming as major barriers discouraging young Nigerians from entering agriculture. He called for government intervention through access to tractors, farm implements, land, technical support, and other incentives.
Agriculture is hard. Hard in the sense that it's not easy for somebody without a passion for agri to go into it. You can take something today, buy it for 10 naira, and sell it tomorrow for 12 naira, 2 naira profit. You can't do that with agriculture. Agriculture is an investment, and it's an event that also has lots of unpredictabilities and risks and uncertainties. So government again has to come to the aid of those who genuinely want to go into farming and start by providing aids.
Professor Adejumo further proposed that local governments with available agricultural land should establish registers for young people interested in farming. He said such a database could help government identify genuine prospective farmers, match them with available land, and provide the equipment, training, and technical assistance required for successful agricultural ventures.
Let every local government do a register. The tractorization, you will get it. The implements, you will get it. We will monitor this and that for you. We will supply you also with technical advice. We will do the screening for you. Out of the 1,000 that have applied, maybe 100 people will scale through. I will support you. That is the only way. When those 100 people succeed, the next batch of people will be more encouraged.
He also advocated the revival of agricultural machinery production and tractor assembly, arguing that locally available and affordable equipment will reduce the financial burden on farmers. For Professor Adejumo, making agriculture attractive to young Nigerians requires more than encouraging them to farm. Government must create the conditions that make farming economically viable and sustainable. Adebayo Abdurrafi, BCOS News.
A former chairman of the Oyo State Universal Basic Education Board, Professor Soji Adejumo, has advocated substantial devolution of power to Nigeria's constituent units as a way of strengthening grassroots participation and addressing the country's developmental challenges. Professor Adejumo made the call while featuring on BCOS Television's monthly flagship program, Guest of the Month, where he also reflected on past efforts at constitutional reform. Our man, Adebayo Abdurrafi, reports.
For Professor Soji Adejumo, Nigeria's governance challenges cannot be effectively addressed without restructuring the distribution of political power across the federation. He believes greater powers should be devolved to constituent units to enable them to take greater responsibility for their development.
Babangida flew down. He was then in Lagos. He had not moved to Abuja. He flew down to Abuja. He came to the Constituent Assembly Hall and prescribed no-go areas. So he stopped us at 4 critical areas. He made an announcement that these are no-go areas, don't touch this. We still tried again to still try and circumvent that, because we wanted a constitution that will reflect the wills of the people. At the end of the day, we ended that session 1989, presented the constitution to him. That constitution was never promulgated till today. So he didn't promulgate it till he left. When he left, Shonekan did not touch it. When Abacha came, Abacha did not touch it. When Absalom came, Absalom just went and amended 79. So nobody referred to the 88-89 constitution. So it is the same military that is still being run, and that constitution can never deliver good governance to Nigeria.
Professor Adejumo recalled the 2014 National Conference under the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan, describing its recommendations as one of the closest attempts at addressing some of Nigeria's structural challenges. He, however, expressed concern that some of the recommendations were not fully implemented. The former Oyo Subeb chairman also rejected the argument that opposition to constitutional reform is primarily driven by interest from a particular region of the country.
It's Babangida Southern. So it was pandering to northern interests until you devolve power substantially to the constituent states and regions. You cannot have a people. So I still believe that the closest we could have had to that was the 2014 Jonathan's political bureau, the confab. But Jonathan too didn't have the courage to implement it. He was hoping that if he got a second term, then he would implement it. And I think we are even implemented it then. I even secured him a second term.
He recalled how some areas of constitutional reform had previously been identified as sensitive, arguing that the issue should be examined from the perspective of Nigeria's broader political and institutional interests rather than regional sentiments. For Professor Adejumo, meaningful constitutional reform must ultimately strengthen the capacity of the constituent units to participate in governance and drive their own development. He believes substantial devolution of power could bring government closer to the people and provide a more effective framework for addressing Nigeria's socio-economic challenges. Adebayo Abdurrafi, BCOS News.
Another timeout. Please stay tuned.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care with 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care for your shade of beautiful.
Well, welcome back. The Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NIHSA, has warned of a high risk of riverine flooding across Kaduna, Niger, Delta, and 29 other states, including all southwest states, within the next 7 days. The agency said the flood risk forecast covers the period from August 19 to 25, 2026, and urged communities located on floodplains to immediately relocate to higher ground. The Director General and Chief Executive Officer of NIHSA, Umar Mohammed, disclosed this in a statement today. According to him, rising river levels are expected to trigger flooding in several parts of the country during the period. He said the validity of the flood is from August 19 to 25, 2026. Multivitamins are commonly used to supplement the body's nutritional needs, especially when individuals may not be getting enough essential nutrients from their daily diet. But what exactly are multivitamins? What roles do they play in the body, and who may benefit from their use? In this report, Oyeshile Oloyede examines the importance of multivitamins and their role in supporting healthy body functions.
Multivitamins are dietary supplements containing a combination of vitamins and, in some cases, minerals that are essential for normal growth, development, and health body functions. For many people, they provide a convenient way of supplementing their nutrient intake, particularly when their regular diets may not provide adequate amount of certain essential nutrients. According to public health physician Dr. Olubade Omotajo, vitamins perform several important functions in the body, including supporting blood formation, bone development, immunity, energy metabolism, and proper brain function. It says multivitamin supplementation may be beneficial where nutritional requirements are increased or where a deficiency has been identified.
They do help in blood formation, like when you take iron supplements that we do recommend to patients, take iron supplement. That's also part and parcel of what we call multivitamins. We have vitamin D. We have vitamin D is very important in bone formation. We have vitamin C. All these things, they help us in fighting infection. That's what we call neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters, they help in brain function. So once you have enough of vitamin B complex, you are very likely to be sound up there.
Dr. Omotajo, however, cautioned that multivitamins should not be regarded as a substitute for a balanced diet, noting that essential vitamins and minerals are best obtained from a variety of nutritious food, including fruits and vegetables.
Our diets are shifting to what we call processed food. You want to be fried food left, right, and center. They create things that go into our bodies, create what we call oxidative stress. And multivite, they have antioxidants. So they mop up all those free radicals that can damage our cells. The older you grow, please don't play with multivitamins. Don't play, particularly adults. Elderly, they do have challenge with appetite, where we don't have opportunity to be taking fruit and vegetables. Let's make multivitamins part and parcel of our daily routine.
With the increasing consumption of processed and convenience foods, experts stress the need for adequate nutrient intake as part of healthy lifestyle. They also advise that the use of multivitamins should be guided by individual nutritional needs or professional advice, particularly where supplementation is being considered for specific deficiency or health conditions. Oyeshile Oloyede, BCOS News.
An examination is meant to test what a student knows, but for some students today, getting good grades has become a search for shortcuts. With digital devices and artificial intelligence now in the mix, the integrity of our exams is under serious threat. In this report, Adiola Oladele examines the growing menace of examination malpractice and the way forward.
A good grade can open doors to universities, scholarships, and jobs. But what happens when the knowledge behind that grade is missing? This question highlights how examination malpractice continues to take new forms across the education system. Year after year, examination bodies have battled the problem. This year alone, the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, withheld 167,486 results over irregularities detected during the 2026 examinations. While identifying poor supervision as one of the factors encouraging examination malpractice, a professor of arts and social science education at the University of Ibadan, Professor David Fakeye, urged WAEC and other examination bodies to strengthen their systems to prevent leakages of examination questions.
Students in secondary school they are children, they can be tempted to do anything. Even when they don't have the intention of cheating, and they now see that exam questions are flying all over the places, they will also want to say, let me look at it and get prepared. Because if you don't go to all that direction, then somebody that does not come to school regularly or is not better off, we end up with better grades in WAEC. So from the end, let them plug all loopholes where exam questions used to come out. The repercussion is that many of them, so then when they get to the university, they will not survive the first year.
The director of the Career Development and Counseling Center, UI, Professor Bayo Oluwole, noted that technology has added a new dimension to examination malpractice, with some students using mobile phones and artificial intelligence to gain unfair advantages, partly due to inadequate invigilation.
The society crave for certificates is also an enabling factor. And as such, it is very essential that parents have to be more serious with parenting, where there is parental pressure on the children to deliver beyond their capability. It is average of 14 years when individual is engaged in exam malpractice and is arrested and tried in the law court. But how many people, aiders, abettors, how many people, the students, are brought to justice as a result of exam malpractice?
In his opinion, an educationist, Professor Adams Onuka, maintained that teachers and school authorities must support the integrity of the process rather than becoming preoccupied with securing impressive results to enhance the image of their schools.
There is no one particular variable that is responsible for it. There are, a conglomerate of variables. The parents, the student, the school, the teachers, and some staff of the examining bodies are also. And of course, these things are printed. People set them. And people, whether you use computer or not, people hack. Government comes in, the proprietors come in by providing all that is required to use to teach, for the teachers to teach. Having an environment that is attractive to the learners. Let learners, try. Don't be in a haste. You want your child to get to the university at 16, at 14, at this thing, and so what?
Stakeholders say there must be a collective commitment from parents, teachers, government, and students. According to them, emphasis should be on building capacity and knowledge, not just chasing certificates. Adeola Oladili, BCOS News.
We shall now take a short commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Our bodies get serums, washes, lotions, cleansers, scrubs, but underarms only get deodorant? That's why our new breakthrough formula contains pure hyaluron and vitamin C to deeply care for your underarms for a softer and even skin tone in 2 weeks. With 72 hours sweat and odor protection, try the new Nivea Derma Control Natural Tone, because your underarms deserve more. Nivea is for skin.
The home is under attack, but not for long, because Hypo is here. Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Dirty and stains, the video shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go hypo.
Germs always find a way back.
No green. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go hypo.
Alright everyone, no pull your ears, make we talk. Time don't reach to rearrange his house to give una small wisdom. Shots my teeth fresh now, but in our own, I beg no be so. Before una go talk, say our smell no reach. Make that think I'm try so. Ever had a Colgate, the #1 oil care brand in the world?
Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection almost 24 hours cavity defense. The formula boost with calcium for lifelong smiles.
Mom, it's a time to brush. No more cover mouth.
Colgate for 24 hours maximum cavity protection.
In today's fast-paced world, staying ahead demands peak performance from our bodies.
Like never before, our bodies need an optimum supply of essential nutrients, and Supermalt supports our daily nutritional needs.
Supermalt has 20 essential vitamins, minerals, and natural extracts for overall health and wellness. One Supermalt a day gives you energy and vitality, improves your mental performance, and supports your immunity.
Thank you for staying with us. We'll now go over to Sports Desk.
Good evening and welcome to the sports segment of the news. I am Oluwatu Yinka.
We'll start with football, as Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu is undergoing massive renovation ahead of the 2026-2027 Nigeria Premier Football League season and the CAF Champions League. The renovation project is expected to be completed by November as efforts continue to upgrade the facility to meet the required standards for domestic and continental competitions. Rangers International, who will represent Nigeria in the CAF Champions League, are expected to use the MKO Abiola Stadium as their temporary home while renovation work continues at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium. The Flying Antelopes will return to Enugu once the renovation is completed and the stadium is let for use. Now to the continent of Africa. CAF Referee of the Year Omar Atan has received an invitation from UEFA to attend the UEFA Men's Summer Course 2026 in Geneva, Switzerland. The referee course is scheduled to take place from August 31st to September 2nd, bringing together leading match officials for technical and professional development. UEFA has also expressed interest in having Atan officiate more football matches in Europe of the Somalian referee's performances on the international stage. In a letter, UEFA informed both the Confederation of African Football (CAF) and Somalia Football Federation (SFF) of the program. The invitation represents another major milestone in Atan's refereeing career and reflects the high regard in which he is held beyond the African continent. Finally, from the world of football, Bayern Munich midfielder Jean Musiala has released a statement after his second fainting episode in days. The German superstar has moved to quell widespread panic regarding his health, confirming via social media that he has been diagnosed with a neurological dysfunction. The 23-year-old released an extensive statement on Tuesday, just hours after collapsing on the pitch for the second time in less than a week. The first episode started when Musiala required urgent medical attention during Bayern's clash against Leipzig. At the time, early reports prematurely dismissed the incident as severe stroke or a sudden circulation issue. However, the severity of the situation became undeniably clear on Tuesday during a preseason club friendly against Heidenheim at the Voith Arena. Mid-game, Musiala suffered another collapse. As the disoriented forward went down, teammates Jonathan Tah and Harry Kane immediately rushed to his aid, forming a protective ring to shield him from cameras while medical personnel provided treatment. Bayern ultimately won the exhibition match 4-2, but the result was entirely overshadowed by deep concern for their midfielder. As the Bavarians giants finalized preparations for the Franz Beckenbauer Super Cup against Borussia Dortmund on Saturday, followed by their 2026-2027 Bundesliga opener against VfB Stuttgart on August 28, Musiala remains focused on returning to the pitch.
And that will be all for tonight. Thanks for watching.
At least 9 people have been killed after a fire broke out at a hotel in Kolkata, India, with 5 of the victims identified as Bangladeshi nationals receiving medical treatment in the city. The blaze, reportedly caused by an exploding air conditioner, has again raised concerns over fire safety standards in the country. Foreign Desk Editor Folashade Akintola compiled the story and others as presented by Khadija Lawal.
A fire ripped through a hotel in the Indian city of Kolkata today, killing 9 people, including 5 Bangladeshi nationals who were seeking medical care, officials said. Building fires are common in India due to a lack of firefighting equipment and routine disregard for safety regulations. The Kolkata blaze came only 2 days after 8 people were killed in another hotel fire in West Bengal's holy town of Tarapet, where Hindu devotees had gathered for the sacred month of Shravan. Sharma said preliminary information suggested an air conditioner at the budget Shikha Inn Hotel in Kolkata, the West Bengal capital, may have exploded and caused the blaze. Bangladesh's Deputy High Commissioner in Kolkata said Indian authorities told him that the 5 of those killed were Bangladeshi nationals. Santosh Pathak, a member of the West Bengal's ruling party, said the Bangladeshi nationals had traveled to Kolkata for medical treatment. Kolkata accounts for more than half of those medical travelers because of its proximity to the Bangladesh capital Dhaka, according to official figures. Meanwhile, a severe weather event has affected northern Chile, causing widespread disruption to daily life. Heavy rainfall has led to flash floods and mudslides, resulting in the evacuation of residents from affected areas. According to reports, cars were swept down as flood waters and debris accumulated on roads. Emergency responders have been deployed to assist those in need, clearing streets and providing aid to affected communities. The Chilean government has declared a state of catastrophe in Tocopilla province, where the heavy rain is expected to continue. Residents described the situation as terrifying and expressed concern for their safety. The floods have caused significant disruptions to daily life, with many roads rendered impassable due to the accumulation of debris and flood waters. Emergency services are working to clear streets and restore access to affected areas. As the weather continues to pose a threat, residents are being advised to remain indoors and follow evacuation orders. And lastly, the United States and Canada have reached a last-minute deal to delay steep tariffs on billions of dollars of Canadian goods, granting a temporary reprieve to exporters fearful of a renewed trade war between the trade partners. U.S. President Donald Trump made the announcement shortly before the 50% duty was due to take effect at midnight. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney confirmed shortly afterwards that the U.S. had agreed to suspend the tariffs until August 22. The 11th hour breakthrough came after Trump and Carney held talks on Tuesday aimed at finding common ground after a week of fraught trade negotiations. The tariffs would have applied to some $20.2 billion worth of Canadian exports, affecting goods ranging from electronics and industrial machinery to furniture, dairy products, and wine. In a post on Truth Social on Tuesday, Trump said he agreed to a 3-day pause in the tariffs after the sides reached a deal subject to finalization of documents. Neither Trump nor Carney provided details of the agreement, but the U.S. president appeared to link the breakthrough to his efforts to revive the Keystone XL pipeline. Khadija Lawal, BCOS News.
Around the world, here again are the main points. The President Bola Tinubu-led administration has finally unveiled a breakdown of the 15.8 trillion naira in savings from fuel subsidy removal and gains of other reforms over the last 3 years. Suspected thugs on Wednesday attacked the convoy